In my research of covering every Game Boy Advance game that offered a Single-Pak Link multiplayer mode, I encountered several games that go against the norm. Whether it's a unique gameplay mode, feature, or just simply how the data is transferred, here are 10 of the most unique one-cartridge multiplayer modes on GBA. If you look at the Dr. Mario plus Puzzle League cartridge, you might think, so what? Competitive Dr. Mario or Puzzle League, what's the big deal? The thing is, there is no two-player real-time competitive multiplayer mode when it comes to the Single-Pak Link. Instead of playing head-to-head, the host player sends a downloadable copy of the single-player game to a standby GBA. Then that standby GBA can play Dr. Mario or Puzzle League until the empty GBA's power is turned off. While more limited on options, this is mostly the Dr. Mario and Puzzle League experience right down to the colorful visuals and soundtrack. Although you can't choose between the memorable Fever or Chill tune in Dr. Mario. But if you wanted to play these games competitively, you'll need to try the Multi-Pak Link mode, or play the classic NES series of Dr. Mario. Speaking of the classic NES series, the Single-Pak Link mode found in Donkey Kong, PacMan, and Xevius each support a one-cartridge multiplayer mode, but it's actually pointless. You see, these three classic games are single-player only. The two-player mode is alternating while each player competes for a higher score. So instead of playing the Single-Pak Link mode, in which the high scores are not saved, players can just take turns passing the console hot seat style if you felt the need to play a game of competitive Pac-Man, which is the lousy NES version. There are two modern versions of classic Game & Watch games that support the Single-Pak Link mode in Game & Watch Gallery 4, Donkey Kong 3 and Boxing. DK3 is a weird take on tug of war that involves bubbles and booze, while Boxing is a limited and awkward 2D game involving punches and dodges, but at least Waluigi can punch Luigi in the crotch or the face. The weirdest part though, this two-player Link mode is required if you wanted to earn all the stars in the game's version of currency that's used to unlock more content. I think it's cool that Nintendo included a real-time multiplayer mode in their long-running Game & Watch compilation, but making it a requirement to unlock stars could be frustrating for those players with access to only one GBA. Licka-chan no Oshare Nikki is a Japanese exclusive doll simulator that probably has the most unexpected Single-Pak Link feature on the system. While the main game is sorta like a dress-up Barbie doll RPG, the one-cartridge multiplayer mode has nothing to do with the main game. Instead of swapping dresses or even playing minigames, Link players are instead presented with a text messaging communicator. Essentially the DS's PictoChat before PictoChat, only without drawing capabilities. Two players can send text messages back and forth. But fear not, there's still a way to swap wieners with some creativity. It's weird though, because instead of tediously typing one character at a time on a GBA through a short-length link cable, players can, literally just talk to the person sitting 1 foot away. Although it's pointless, it deserves some recognition for being so different. I know what you're thinking. Tetris Worlds is just another Tetris game that just so happens to be on GBA. Well, here's the thing. The American version released in September 2001 and only had a Multi-Pak Link mode. But the PAL version, released a couple of months later, includes both a single and Multi-Pak Link mode. This leads me to believe the devs ran out of time when it came to the US release, which is a bummer because playing Tetris by only needing one copy of the game would have been awesome. And as another fact, Tetris World is the only GBA Tetris game to be released in the States, so it's a shame that we never got a Tetris game to take advantage of the one-cartridge multiplayer. Mario Party Advance is one of the strangest games in the series because it has such weird options, modes, and linking capabilities. There are a handful of Single-Pak linking minigames that can be played by 2 players. But the kicker is that the host GBA can send a playable version of any minigame to a standby GBA, very similar to the demo mode found in Dr. Mario plus Puzzle League. It's a thoughtful feature, but the strangest part comes from the gadgets section, which can also be sent to any standby GBA. Instead of playing a minigame, gadgets are these nonsensical micro apps that don't really do anything. Want to watch hourglasses drop sand? Or how about having your GBA screen digitally cleaned? Dozens of these experimental apps can be sent to empty GBAs and they can be used until the power is shut off. Although creative, these things don't really serve a purpose, but they definitely deserve some high marks on this list. Almost 24 classic Atari 2600 games are playable through the Single-Pak Link functionality in the GBA port of Activision Anthology. The host GBA needs to press L and up to access the one cartridge multiplayer mode, and the program only takes a second to load into the standby GBA. This is because nothing is displayed on player 2's console. Only the button presses from the second GBA are recorded and sent to player 1's GBA. In other words, both players need to look at player 1's screen to play these multiplayer games. Since these games are running off of an emulator, I'm guessing storage space was the issue here. While it can be a little cramped sharing one GBA screen, it isn't an issue if you're using a Game Boy player. Besides, some of these multiplayer games still hold up today, like Fishing Derby and Ice Hockey, personal favorites of mine. So I'm glad the devs included a handheld multiplayer mode by only needing one copy, even if it only appears on one screen. Out of the 1,500 plus games released on the GBA, about 100 of them included a Single-Pak Link multiplayer mode, and these are some of the most unique from that bunch. But if you wanted to see more, I covered every single GBA game that has a Multiboot mode, including the Japanese exclusives. See the link to my dedicated Single-Pak GBA playlist in the description. Leaving a like helps too. Until next time, thank you for watching and game on.